First, I want to address at this Townhall Pittsburgh, PA, Squirrel Hill in the region, classroom training and workshop, safety class, discussion panel on gun safety, mass shootings, soliciting sex and prostitution, some issues in our region, Democrats and Republicans regarding the Synagogue shooting, open forum. Up next, topics on child safety, underage drinking, pipe tobacco, some things that might be more concern. I know it's an issue, so as far as like bar and cigarettes, I mean, no big deal. I mean, really. I don't want anyone to put themselves in unnecessary danger at the same time. So there's some issues we might need to work out overall. Like giving out cigarettes is one thing. It's an overall safety issue, and there's been some issues and throughout the region and some concerns that should be addressed in open forum. Okay, as we get into this discussion, we know this topic is coming up. It has come up in the national media regarding gun safety. Now, overall, this discussion will be handled in a panel fair and at a time and date that I think we need to address it. Okay, so we know that's the discussion on a national level here locally, on a community level. There's a lot of things here in Butler County are far different than Allegheny County when it comes to guns and shooting and incidents, and obviously there's been a lot of unnecessary aggravation and aggravated assault and assaults involving other members of my family. As far as I'm dealing with a young girl right now who's been sexually abused. I've been reporting on this with the Butler County Police. I'm concerned for her safety as well as anybody else who's been injured in car accidents. I want those incidents to be documented, that they have to get medical care immediately. If they're going outside the region, no big deal. We just need to know that they're getting proper medical transportation back and forth to those appointments. That is generally a major concern, especially with car accident victims. I've actually dealt with a young girl who was a car accident victim, and she needs the proper medical care. We can't just let these cases go ignored. On this open forum, we're going to also discuss some things, and dates and times will be pointed out at some point. Right now, this is just an overall town hall. Okay, some of the things that I know are going to come up, possibly this is a general, working knowledge, concerns in Squirrel Hill and in this region. Of course, one of the concerns is going to be concerns for my life. There's going to be a lot of people coming back from this region and coming into this region for the first time. Overall public safety, that's a case number 2 from the community, and public safety issues that will be most likely addressed. General health concerns, missed appointments. There was a lot of people that missed their doctor's appointments. Medical needs and assistance, proper safe transportation. These are things that are going to come up because of what happened in Squirrel Hill. Proper and safe transportation, obviously improving the safety vehicles for all law enforcement, vehicle upgrades for the Pittsburgh Police and Butler Police, safety for infants and toddlers, daycare, safety matters for all media. All media is welcomed. All pedestrians would like to see more art exhibits and access to bicycles before spring 2019, improving conditions for all educators and medical staff as well, because as you know, this is going to be a pretty big event. It's one of the largest, and again, most of us who are from the Pittsburgh region have never had a mass shooting like this. So obviously there's going to be some other things that are going to be addressed at this time. Okay, now, overall concerns, why we're having open forum online. Some other issues with people's knees and injuries and feet injuries. We need to talk to the OT department, and we need to network with UPMC and some other larger hospitals. Obviously, there's a lot of people in and out of rehab right now, that especially because of their injuries. We're talking about medical rehab, Mercy Hospital. A lot of other parents, mothers, fathers, parents, relatives, any other issues. Transportation has got to be somehow provided for relatives and family. I'm the granddaughter of the attorney for the Pittsburgh Police. I know anybody else that has relatives or any family members who are connected with law enforcement. Primarily, it is going to be a transportation issue with all family members of those in those constituencies. As far as like how we conduct ourselves, it's just simple. Making sure you have name tags, making sure that when you go to these events or special fundraising events, that we also know that there's a lot of members of the family that have not yet talked to their family, including myself. I've not talked to my relatives since the shooting. So I'm very concerned, and I want to talk to my relatives, and I want to make sure they're okay. Overall, because we're from the Squirrel Hill region, and I live here in Butler. So right off the bat, I know there's going to be some locations, some traveling and commuting issues. Right now, there has been And I know anyone else would like to chime in. This open forum is available to you. We're opening up this town hall right now. We're going to have a call-in line for conference calls. Anybody else that wants to commute back and forth to hotels or any other concerns addressing, like traveling outside this region as far as tolls and things like that, knowing where the toll roads are and just getting around overall. I know that, again, I would get ahead of it, just knowing the toll roads, how to get around, and much more. Okay, so those of you who have ever done running or law work, you realize that there's a lot of homework involved in research deeds, property issues going on in Squirrel Hill as we speak. So right now, we're going to leave it right there. Now, when you're in Butler County, of course, it's a different jurisdiction. So meeting notes, coffee table, set up a buffet at Days, and that's one of the things I want to start out with. So they have a reception area so that they can all meet with their legislators or police officers or dignitaries or anyone that we're going to have to meet with at Days Inn. Coffee will be served, I believe, probably, once we get things rolling. I know that's generally something we want to have refreshments there. Okay. Overall, though, because this is something we don't normally do, I've worked as a buffet. I've worked several places, so there's a lot of people that can pitch in and do a little bit of work here. Setting up a container, when we're talking about fees and expenses, I mean, it's getting into a lot of money here. So we need to know who to speak to, Governor, especially some of the other issues regarding incidents. Victims need this care today. We can't wait anymore. We have families that are injured severely here. I'm concerned personally because there are so many problems right now that the best place to start is with security. So general security issues, obviously. How to get around is going to be one of the issues, especially if people are walking. So I just wanted to address the bike issue. That's not a bad problem. That's not a problem at all. Okay, good. Because we need people to be able to get around. There's going to be daycare issues, obviously. Just making sure that there are proper safe places to go for people who aren't familiar with the region. Okay. Just overall things that I think, we should all be concerned about. Children's safety, obviously. It's not an issue that's going away. I've talked to some members of the community who like the 312 group and feel comfortable with that. So that's one of the things. I hope we can get that started up real quickly. As far as support group, we have addressed or even wrote some concerns that we want to have a support group nearby for obvious reasons. There are flowers on the corner. I think that's a great idea, by the way. If somebody can sell flowers on the corner, there are going to be families that are still in mourning who've just lost their family members due to this synagogue shooting. And there are still victims out here right now that still need that help. So if there's a way that we can have this open forum at the Days Inn, I'd like to start there. I'm going to leave it out there, but meeting notes and continue to address who's going to I just hope the people that are going to be designated for these roles, as you know, there's designated positions, there's appointed positions, and there's going to be some people that generally have to do some overall security sweep. So I would assume that, as you guys know, going forward, I just noticed that date is April 18th, 2019. So I just want to make sure we got all our P's and Q's. As far as talking to other attorneys, I know our attorney is going to be there. I know a lot of members of the community in Squirrel Hill and members here are going to have attorneys as well representing.